For the Levi family, finding positives hasn't been easy. Their brother, Rodney, was shot to death by New Brunswick RCMP in June of 2020. He had approached officers with 2 large kitchen knives in an agitated state. At a coroner's inquest, family members felt helpless, unable to ask questions because they did not have legal standing.
You know, it was a big roller coaster all these 8 days, and I'm just glad today that we could finally breathe.
The inquest's jury concluded their brother's death was a homicide. They say it dispels any notions of a so-called suicide by cop, where people deliberately provoke police into killing them.
You just remember our brother and that he did not want to die.
The jury calls for the federal government to reinstate a policing model in which Mi'kmaq peace officers work with the RCMP, a program people in Levi's New Brunswick community say was cut. For the RCMP, the jury recommends mandatory First Nation cultural sensitivity training for cadets, dedicated liaison officers at detachments near First Nations communities, and better training for RCMP officers on crisis intervention and de-escalation. The inquest heard Mounties currently receive a 3-hour online course in de-escalation with no practical exercises. Scrutiny over how police in Canada interact with Indigenous communities is more intense than ever after a string of fatal shootings, including single mother Chantel Moore in Edmundston, New Brunswick last year, and Jared Lowndes, a father of 2, in Campbell River, BC in July. Levi's family knows the jury's recommendations are not binding.
It's up to the departments to adapt the recommendations in their organizations.
In a statement, RCMP headquarters says it will carefully consider the recommendations, which also include faster national rollout of body-worn cameras and more detox centers on First Nations reserves. Levi struggled with addiction and with mental illness. New Brunswick prosecutors cleared the RCMP officers of any wrongdoing. The question now is what actions will be taken to prevent similar confrontations and tragedies in future. Ross Lord, Global News.